What do you think the number one mistake that people make on their taxes that causes audits?
The number one mistake people make on their taxes that causes audits is omissions. They leave things off of their tax returns. You received a 1099 and you forgot to report it. You had 11 K1s and you only reported 9 K1s inside of your tax returns. Omissions are the number one way people get flagged and then audited by the IRS because you're underreporting income. The next is making a mistake on a tax return. It's very easy to make mistakes on tax returns when you're somebody that's new to filing your own tax returns, or you're a CPA that's extremely busy. Most CPA firms that are really good firms will separate tax prep and tax review because mistakes are so easy to have happen on a return. You forgot to tie something out exactly on the balance sheet, so things are just falling apart on the return without you really kind of seeing it because the system can't flag it, right?
Got it.
So this is why sometimes CPAs will have professional reviewers whose sole job in the CPA office is just to review returns. They don't even file returns.
Got it. That's crazy. A little mistake can cause an audit.
Yep, absolutely.
Can you do everything perfect and still get audited?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Just because your tax return doesn't have mistakes or omissions, or you're not using, weird categories, doesn't mean that you can't get audited. Audits are 100% random. The IRS has to conduct audits as a part of what they do every single year. You're just more likely to get audited if you make more income. And really, audits really start to become a bigger deal when you're over 10 million.
Interesting.
Not
Why is
as
that?
much because IRS legally has to audit people who are making more income. They have departments specified for incomes over 10 million and then incomes over 100 million. They have special units inside of the IRS division for business owners that are explicitly making over 10 million, or taxpayers that are explicitly making over 10 million.
Wow.
It's a whole nother unit, whole nother department.
Gross or net?
Growth.
Gross.
Yes. Gross.
On the business or on the individual?
Both.
Both.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So I'm already in that category.
Yes, you are, and so am I.
Dang. You gotta love that. Well,
So
IRS,
our audit risk just jumped up to around 2%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, the previous administration, they wanted to hire a bunch of new IRS agents, but the current administration, they did away with that, right?
Biden wanted to hire 89,000. It was some arbitrage number, something crazy. And Trump was like, yeah, hell no. We're repealing all of this back. By the way, all the funding that Biden and we were going to send over to you guys, we're not even sending it anymore. We're just parking it until we figure out what to do with it. So right now, the money that the IRS was going to receive this year in government funding is literally just sitting in a cash account.
Wow.
Right now, a money market account. Not given out to the IRS. Pretty
That's
awesome.
crazy. Yeah.
I love it. I don't think the IRS needs more funding.
No, I don't think so
I don't
either.
think they need more funding.
Right. I mean,
I think they need is more technology. They need to get faster.
They need to be efficient.
They need to be more efficient.
Dude, I mean, anytime, like, I pay the IRS, like, fairly often, right?
Yes.
And I'm always like, what's my balance? Like, what do I owe? Like, where do I look? Like, I go on their website. Like, it's so clunky. I can never find what I'm looking for. I have to, like, wait for the letter in the mail to see what the hell it's old school, dude. It's like
Super
dinosaur
archaic.
world.
You have to call in.
Yeah.
You have to wait. You get transferred, and then you're talking to somebody that doesn't know. What
They don't know anything about anything.
So then they transfer you to somebody else, and then once you get the answer, and they tell you, okay, I only solved these problems, so I'll transfer you back to this department. And then you go back to that department. They tell you, okay, in order for this other department to know, it's going to be another 60 to 90 days. It's just our process. You're like, oh,
it's crazy.
Oh, great, thanks. I didn't know that you guys take 90 days to do anything. To turn one corner.
Do W-2 people get audited more often or less often than 1099?
Oh, they get audited 100% less often
Really?
than 1099.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what is there to audit? Is that kind of the mindset?
It's not what is there to audit. It's where's the substance. It's very easy for a business owner to make a mistake on a tax return. It's harder for a W-2 taxpayer to make a mistake on a tax return because all you're inputting is just a couple of lines from your W-2 into the tax software.
Sure.
I mean, brother, you just got to read legibly. AI could even take a scan of it and part the numbers into the software for you now. I mean, it's really hard to mess up a basic W-2 tax return. When W-2 taxpayers start to get a lot of investments, okay, your tax return becomes a little bit more complex. Maybe you have a couple investment properties. Maybe you have a couple of brokerage accounts, so you have capital gains and stuff. But with business owners, you have K1s. With business owners, you have assets that are on the books. With business owners, you have balance sheets. With business owners, you have payroll. Right. With business owners, you have to calculate deductions and QBI and what qualifies and what doesn't qualify. And when does he get disallowed? Did he not get disallowed? What type of income is he receiving? Is this service-based income? Is this non-service-based income? It is so much more complex, so much more complex. So yeah, absolutely. I'd spend more time auditing business owners because there's more opportunity there.
Totally. Yeah. More things to catch.
More things to catch.
Right. At the end of the day.
Yep.
How often do you see people actually go to jail, like for being for tax evasion and stuff? Like, is it because like the movies and stuff, I feel like the society kind of scares people a little more than maybe what it actually looks like in real life, right?
Yeah,
like when you get audited, you just have to go back and show them everything, right? Like unless you're running a Ponzi scheme.
When you're committing tax fraud,
right,
is when you go to jail, when you're intentionally getting over on the IRS.
So if you accidentally screw up.
No, people make accidents all the time. I didn't know. That was negligence. I didn't know. But people who incriminate on their tax returns, I'm literally changing my books intentionally to underreport, so I literally pay less. Bro, you're a criminal. Totally. That's criminal. And the Christies went to jail for tax fraud and tax evasion, and they recently got a pardon by Trump, which I was like, whoa. That was where I was like, he must know something I do not, because the tax code's the tax code, bro.
Right.
Like, they committed tax fraud, and primarily they committed tax evasion, but yeah, they got a pardon. That was the most recent big story that I've seen of somebody going to jail. I've never had a client or anybody that I've ever come into contact with that has been in trouble to the point where the IRS is taking them to jail. I've had a client that was getting assessed for 10 years of $8 million in taxes. And even the IRS was still willing to work with him, even though he hadn't filed returns in 10 years. Like, if you're still trying to stay in touch, they understand you're going through an economic circumstance, you have to start communicating with them and figuring out a plan. That's why they created these two different options. The IRS has two options that you can utilize. They have the offer and compromise option, which means that you're working with them to come up with a compromise on how much you can pay them because your financial circumstances have changed, and they need to see that. They're going to request all your finances. They're going to request bank statements over the last couple of months, maybe in the last couple of years, and they want to see, okay, does this person's income drop or did his debt rise enough to for us to understand that him paying us back is going to take a lot longer than we think it's going to take. So it might be in our best interest to really just compromise with him on a far reduced amount and have him either pay it in a lump sum or on a payment plan. So that's what's called an offer and compromise. And then you have payment plans. Payment plans is where the IRS says, okay, you can pay me back over the course of 5 years, but guess what? The only way you qualify for a payment plan is if you get your tax balance under $50,000. And so big business owners that have huge tax debts, man, they're on the hook with the IRS for those penalties and interest fees because they can't get on a payment plan because they're not under 50K. So they're just letting that balance just trickle and trickle every single month. They're just trying to chop at that tax debt.
Right. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is the IRS they're human beings at the end of the day, right? Like they have a heart and a soul.
Yes.
And like if you're a good person trying to do the right thing and you had a bad chain of events happen to you, like they will work with you.
They will work with you, absolutely. And this is where you can also get counsel as well. There's tons of representation firms out there that will essentially do 100% of the communication and consulting for you. They'll get a power of attorney and submit it to the IRS, and now they get to talk to the IRS on behalf of you. So they'll communicate to you saying, hey, here's where we're at. I'm working with this person. We're waiting on status. Can you send over this? Can you send over that? And it's just this back and forth game.
All right, I have a couple more questions and then we'll wrap. So one of my questions is if you get audited, what should you do? Like what's the first, if you get arrested, you're like, I want to call my lawyer, right? If you get a letter in the mail saying you're getting audited, what's the first thing you do as a high-level entrepreneur?
You call your CPA immediately. This is not something for you to handle by yourself. You're going to immediately call your CPA or your enrolled agent, get them on the phone, and get them the IRS audit notice to them as soon as possible, and then go in your mail and see if there's been any other letter sent to you. Because typically when you get an audit, they probably have already sent you a notice ahead of time, and now you're getting audited. Like normally you get a notice first questioning something, and then you don't respond. And then they send another notice saying like, hey, we're by this date, or we're going to go into a formal investigation. And then you get the formal investigation audit.
Got it.
So you typically missed a couple of pieces of mail by the time you're getting audited. So I would say get all of that mail over to your CPA. Get on the phone with them. And what you're going to do is you're going to have your CPA tell you what does the scope of work look like? Is this going to be, 10, 15, 20 hours? They'll kind of let you know how they bill. You'll go into a formal engagement with them, sign a power of attorney, and then now what they're going to do is they're going to get on the phone with the IRS and figure out who's the agent that's been assigned to you. And they're going to give them their CPA or enrolled agent number, and they're going to say, okay, talk to me a little bit about what's going on and where we're at. And then this is where it starts. We're questioning these things. They have the conversation. And now your CPA or enrolled agent can go back and forth now to figure out, how much information do we actually have to share relative to this audit? Or can this be solved without us having to turn over stuff, right?
Sure.
Now you're in a battle.
Yeah, so don't do it by yourself.
Absolutely not. With the IRS, you're not innocent until proven guilty. You are guilty until proven innocent.
Yep.
So if I'm taking that stance in an area that I do not have a degree or background in, highly recommend that you get a tax professional to do that for you.
You need it.
Yes.
You have to have it, right?